Welcome back to day 9 of our Google Cloud Foundational Learning series. My name is Rakesh, and today we are diving into Cloud SQL. It's one of the most important and managed database service on Google Cloud. So, if you ever used PostgreSQL, MySQL, Cloud SQL makes it very easy on Google Cloud. So it's a fully managed database service where you don't have to worry about failover, backups, and everything because everything will be managed by Google. You just use the database. So in today's session, I don't have any PPT to show. So what I will be doing it instead of showing you PPT, today I'll take you directly to Google Cloud Console and show everything to you. So in today's session, what we are going to do, we'll create one Cloud SQL database instance, and then we'll connect to it, and then we'll do some querying. So let's go ahead and start. So before we actually go ahead on Google Cloud Console and actually deploy the instance, first let's understand what is Cloud SQL. So Cloud SQL is nothing but a fully managed relational database service which Google Cloud offers. And what do you mean by fully managed? So fully managed means you just have to create the instance and you can use the database. So rest the backup, failover, scaling, everything will be done by Google. You don't have to worry about anything. So Cloud SQL actually supports three database engine. First is like PostgreSQL, then MySQL, and then SQL Server. So all these three can be supported by Cloud SQL. So in today's session, I'll show you like how we can use MySQL and how we can create the instance for MySQL database engine, and then later how we can connect to it. So let's go ahead and actually see how does it looks on Google Cloud Console and how actually we can create it. So as you can see, I have already logged into my Google Cloud Console. So we'll search for the Cloud SQL service. So just click here and then look for Cloud SQL. So yeah, this is here Cloud SQL. Click on Get Started, and then we'll move to our next tabs. So as you can see this on like Get Started screen. So you can see there are like three databases engine. You can see like MySQL, PostgreSQL, and the third one is SQL Server. And for like each database, you can see there are like three types you can use. Like one is Sandbox, next one is development, and this one is production. So as you can see, the configurations as well for like Sandbox, it's like Enterprise Edition. MySQL 8.0 you can use, two CPUs, 8 GB RAM, 10 GB SSD storage, single zone, up to 7 days PITR. And for development, you can see it uses Enterprises Plus Edition, MySQL, 4 vCPUs, 32 GB RAM, 250 GB SSD storage, single zone, up to 35-day PITR, and data cache for enhancing the read throughput. And for production, you can see like production is like for like most critical workloads, it should be highly available, performance, and durable. As you can see, it's all double here, like 8 CPUs. In development, it had 4 CPUs, 64 GB RAM, 250 GB SSD is enough. And then it supports like multi-zone, and availability is like 99.99%. So almost your production server will always be up. So now let's go ahead and start with like one of the database. So we'll click on instance tab. Even we can use that as well to create. So you can, so as currently I'm showing you everything as a demo perspective or like the learning perspective. So as you can see, it's like mostly used for like learning purposes. So we will use Sandbox as a type for MySQL. So click on like create Sandbox instance. So we'll select or we'll keep enterprise as it is. As you can see, few more details. So it will be available 99.95%, like less than 60 seconds of planned maintenance downtime. So I will keep Sandbox as it is. For database version, you can see like you can use up to like 8.4, but we'll keep 8.0 as it is. And if you want to select some minor versions as well, so you can click that as well and you can select that. So we'll keep it is as default. Now the next part, you have to actually provide the instance ID name. So as you can see here, you have to use the you have to use lowercase. So we'll try to use some, let's say we'll try to use some capital. So as you can see, it says use lowercase letter, number or hyphen, start with a letter. So we'll use first, first MySQL. Okay, hyphens are not allowed. We'll use underscore. Okay, use lower scale. So my first SQL instance, and we'll give some password to it. This. Okay, so password is like so everything is green. It means like I've used a very good password, and then we'll select the region here. So we'll keep US Central one as it is, and for first like we'll use a single zone. So multiple zone is like if any issues or like as you can see here, like in case of outages, no failover, not recommended for production. But we are only using this for our development and environment, so we are okay with the single zone. And if you want to use multiple zone, then in that case you can select zones as well. So we'll keep this as a single zone for now. In show configuration, you can see few more details such as what is the machine type is gonna be used and how much core is used, storage is there. So as it is using SSD 10 GB storage. Then connection, you can see public IP is allowed. In security, we are using allow only SSL connections. Google managed internal certificates we are using. For data protection, standard backup tier we are using automated daily backup, number of Devon 7, and this is our backup window. Prevent instance deletion. So these are all default settings. I'm not making any changes to the default setting, but as you can see, those default settings are like almost, so the default settings are almost like very good, because you can see the prevent instant deletions are already there, retain the backups after the instance is deleted. So everything which we need for our development backup database, everything is there. So let's go ahead and like you can in the summary also you can see like all those details, like how many CPUs are used, what is the RAM and storage and availability and everything you can see here. As well as you can see what is the estimated price. So it says like total without usage discount $0.14 is used for hourly. So like we'll click on create instance. So it usually like takes 2 to 3 minutes to actually deploy the instance. So maybe what I'll do, I'll fast forward this thing, or I'll maybe skip to that part once our database is created. Okay, now as you can see, the instance, MySQL instance is created now. The name of the instance and then the edition and all other details as you can see here. Everything is expected what I have mentioned while creating this, so everything is there. So now let's try to connect to this instance first, and we'll see like if there are any issues to connect to this instance. So maybe we'll see how we can connect to this instance. So click on this action tab and see what are the options available. So we have edit option, create replica, create clone, connect to VM, and then enable query insights. So let's click on connect VM. So yeah, it asking you to choose if you need new Cloud SQL instance or already have. So we already have, right? So I want to use existing Cloud SQL. And what type it was? So it was MySQL. So click on that. Also, it's showing a tutorial like how exactly you can connect to it. So what it says, enable Compute Engine and Cloud SQL to Google Cloud Project. Create a Debian virtual machine in Compute Engine. Reserve a static IP to your Debian VM. Authorize your VM to connect to instance. Install the this. So it asking me to do all this stuff. So there are other ways to do as well. So we'll use that way. Just click on activate Cloud Shell. So we'll try to connect with our instance using SQL. So we'll use this command to connect to our instance. So we'll just update. So what you have to do, like you have to run this command Google gcloud SQL connect my. So this is the name of my instance, so my first SQL instance, and then user as a root, and it will ask for the password that you have set up. So you need to enter that as well. So here, like what console will do, it will automatically whitelist the IP. So you doesn't have to manually do whitelisting of the IP. So everything will be taken care by the console itself or the CLI itself. So as you can see, it's asking for the password that we have set up in the beginning. So we'll enter that. Okay, so as you can see, I am able to log in into my SQL server. So as you can see the notes here, welcome to my SQL monitor, commands and everything you can see. So as you understand, like how easy it was to like create your MySQL database on Google Cloud, and how easily you can connect to it. So now let's try to do some more activities into it. Like I'll create one database maybe, and we'll query to that database. Okay, now let's create one database first. So we'll use command called create database. Just let's give the name something called a demo MySQL. Okay, as you can see, the database is created. Let's check if it is actually created or not. So we'll use a command called show database. Okay, I think I'm using some wrong command. Okay, I think it's show databases. So I just used to show database. Okay, so as you can see, like we have total like 1 2 3 4 5 6 database, but the one which we have created, that is demo MySQL recently. So you can see that database is present. So this is very easy as well for you to like actually connect to the server and then create the database. We'll do few more operations, such as like we'll some insert some database or like table to it, and then we'll query to that table to see how easy it is. So I have already have some commands with me that I'll be using to show you everything, because I'm not that expert in database. Like, I don't remember every command, so I've made a note of it, and then we'll just do everything step by step. So maybe first we'll try to create one table. Okay, I haven't selected the database first. Let me select the database. So I think I haven't selected the database, so that's the reason. So let's first select our this database. So for that, let's use command called use. Okay, so database is changed. So we are now using this demo MySQL database that we have created. So now let's try to create a table here. Okay, so table is done. So we'll see if it is created or not. So click on show tables. So as you can see that, like, tables in MySQL, and the table name is student that we have created. So as you can see that in the table name we had like student table. So now let's insert some values into that table. So okay, so three records have been added. So these are three records that are added, like Rakesh, GCP fundamental, Amit, and Sneha. So all these three records are added. So we'll first check, like, what does it shows all three data or not, because we are like using a query like select star from student. So everything from student it should show. So yeah, you can see there are like three records: Rakesh, Amit, and Sneha, and with their course. Let's say if we want to select for some specific users, we can also do that. Or let's say this query is like select star from student where course is equal to GCP fundamentals. So it's ideally like GCP fundamental is only Rakesh, so it should only show one record. So we'll see what it shows. So yeah, as you can see, like, it shows only Rakesh because the course GCP fundamental is only used for like Rakesh. Now we'll do select count from student. So we'll see counts. So total three number is the count because we have total three students. So that's the reason it shows three counts. So I hope like you understand like how easy for you to like query like anything, or like if you want to insert records or data to it, how easy it is to do in Google Cloud. So I hope you understand in this session like how I have created my first SQL instance, and then we have connected to it, and then later we have created a database and then added some records to it and then did some query to it. So I have done everything this in like our demo account or the like Sandbox account that we have created. So now let's try to create another database, that is PostgreSQL, but that should be like more advanced environment, such as like we'll use the development environment in this case, and we'll try to use all these settings which we mostly use in like a production environment. So we'll try to use everything such like that, because in our like Sandbox environment, this is like mostly for learning purpose, and this was our like first demo. So I wanted to make it like very easy for you to like actually see, and how easily we can connect to the instance, and how easily we can create the records database to it. So I hope you understand this. So let's go ahead and now create our PostgreSQL. So for PostgreSQL, go ahead again, and maybe I'll click on. So maybe before that, like, I'll show you few more uh, options that are available in like Cloud SQL. As you can see, like SQL Studio, Insights, Query Insights, Backups, Database. So let's say in database, what is there? So it should be like one database that we actually created, and the other like a system generated one, and two database that we have created, like the demo MySQL and the demo account I have created. And if you want to delete, you can also delete from here as well if you want. if you want to create database, you don't want to create through console or like CLI, you can also create here like create database and give the name using console database. Character set you can use, collection you can use, and click on create. As you can see that our account is created here, like the database is created using console database. So this is created. So click on user, you can see users are there. Like I haven't created anyone because we only have root user. But generally in our production environment, we always be instructed to use your own user rather than using root user, because root will have so much permission and you don't want to use root. So you want to create a user and use that user, and because you will provide some specific permissions to that user, so that there are chances of like nothing is getting deleted from your database. Let's say you have some user and you have provided some very large permissions to it. So what happens, like if that user is new, or by mistakenly he has run some command, and due to that like all the records it's deleted from your database. So you don't want that to happen. So what you want to do that in that case, create one user and provide only specific permissions to that, like very least privileges permissions to the user. So you, for like creating user, you can just click here add user, and based on that you can create the users. So now let's go ahead and create one more instance that is for PostgreSQL. So I'll click on Cloud SQL again and click on instance. So this time I'll click on PostgreSQL. So like we have already created MySQL, we'll create PostgreSQL now. Choose PostgreSQL. We'll select enterprise itself because this is one of my demo account. So I want to use the enterprise only. And for production, we'll use development this time. So as you can see, this in development, like it is all these settings or all the configurations are doubled what we have used for Sandbox. So we'll use the development. And in the instance info, we will select the default one, like the PostgreSQL 17%, because this was the default added. We'll give the name. So again the same. My first Postgres password will use this. Okay. And we'll keep the reason as it is, but for this time we'll use multiple zone, because previously we have used single zone. So this time we'll try to use multiple zone. We are trying to make this as similar as what we actually use in our production environments. Zone will keep like primary zone will keep as US Central 1 as a primary zone and secondary zone as B. And we'll keep all other settings as default, like machine type, storage, connections, and all the other details. We'll keep it as default. Even you can see here in this summary, like we use enterprise, then this is the region, machine type is this, and the storage connection and all the other details, and what is actually cost of like hourly cost. So it will be $0.60 per hour cost. So we'll click on create instance. So yeah, as I said previously, like it takes 2 to 3 minutes, but like while I was creating the my SQL instance, it took me like 6 minutes. So I hope like it will be going to take around similar time or maybe more, because we are using development environment this time, because configuration is like way bigger than the last one. So I hope it will take not more than 5 or 6 minutes. So maybe once this is created, I'll skip all this part, and once this is completed, I'll move to that part. So our first PostgreSQL is also created. So everything is as expected that I have mentioned while creating the PostgreSQL database. Let's click here and we'll see few more details. and then we'll try to connect to it and then create a database and everything. So click on user. So it should be like one main user should be there. Yeah. So as you can see, the difference here in the Cloud SQL, the username was root as a or the main user, and here it is Postgres is the username. So you have to use this to connect to the server. In database, we haven't created anything yet, so there would be only default one. So here Postgres is the name. So this is the default one, and we haven't created anyone yet. So now let's go ahead and maybe we'll try to connect to our Postgres SQL instance, and then we'll create one database, add few records to it, and do the query. Similar what we have done for our SQL instance or MySQL instance. Now let's try to connect to the PostgreSQL instance. So I have already command. Maybe we'll just modify this with our name. So this is the name. Rest will same. So the command is like gcloud SQL connect, and the name of your instance, and then user is Postgres. So this will do the same thing, which then I mean which this will do the similar thing that was performed for MySQL server as well. The whitelisting of the IP, enter the password. Okay, so as you can see, I'm able to log in into PostgreSQL instance, and these are like few details about this server. Ubuntu is used server, and then all other details are there. So I hope you got it, like how you can actually create your PostgreSQL server instance, and then how easily you can connect to it. Now let's try some other things. First, we'll create database and try to add some record to it, and we'll do some query similar for what we have done for like MySQL instance as well. Uh, now let's try to create the database first. So the command is same, create database, and then give testing. We'll give a testing name. Okay, so the database is created, but let's use testing database. But in MySQL, we use command like use database, but here the command is little different. You have to use /c and the name of the database that you have created, colon, and you have to also enter the password of the user that you are using. So currently we are using Postgres user, so we have to enter the password for that user as well. Okay, so now as you can see, I'm connected to database testing as a user Postgres. Okay, so now let's just try to add the records again. So maybe we'll use the similar command that we have used. Okay, so there are some error syntax error right or near auto increment. So there could be some different command for this. Okay, so use this. Okay, so use this updated command. Create table employee, and then okay, so table is created now. Now let's add some record to it. So will add this record to the table, employee table. Okay, so 2 records have been added. Let's now query those records. So first we'll query everything the employee table has. So it should show two records. One is Rakesh as a cloud engineer, Amit as a DevOps engineer. So I hope you understand how easily we can create the PostgreSQL first and then connect it to it, and then how easily we can create database and then query and add the records to that database. So I hope you understand this session where I've explained you about what is SQL, Cloud SQL in Google Cloud, how this is managed by Google Cloud. You only have to create the instance and use your instance. You don't have to worry about the replication part, scaling part, for database related anything. You don't have to worry about that. You just need to use the SQL service. That's it. And in this demo I also showed you like how we can create MySQL database instance and then connect to it, and later we have created database and then connected to that database, added records to it, and then query it. Similar we have used for PostgreSQL, and in PostgreSQL we did the similar thing, created the instance, connected to it, and then created a database into it and added some records and then queried to that database. So I hope you understand this session very well. And if you still have some queries or you don't understand something, please post that into the comment section so that I can go ahead and look at into those comments. And if required, I can also create a new video where I can, based on your queries, I can provide these solutions. So thank you.